What's up, potty people, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're testing out a full face of best-selling Korean makeup. And if you've watched me for a while, you'll know I'm a K-beauty connoisseur. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I'm infatuated by it. Like, I want to try everything on the market. Like, I'm a believer. And today's video is actually in collaboration with Stylevana, which is a website that sells all K-beauty stuff. They literally have everything you can think of. They're very, very affordable, and they did pick out a full face for me. So today's video is sponsored by them, but I'm not giving a script. I'm not gonna tell you I like something if I don't actually like it. Like, I'm not being told what to say. Like, you guys always get my honest, unbiased opinions. So yeah, but today's video is sponsored by them. So shout out to them. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm excited. I don't get to put on makeup a whole lot. So when I do, it's a big deal. Starting with eyeshadow. So the first thing I have is this Macqueen Tone-on-Tone eyeshadow palette. So I gotta be honest, in the pictures, this looks a lot bigger than what it is in real life. Like, this is like a mini palette. Like, the shadows are very, very small. I mean, that has nothing to do with the quality, but it's pretty tiny. Let's do a few swatches first. Let's do, oh my God, my index finger barely goes in there. Let's do a few of the matte swatches though. Ooh. They feel like creams to the touch. And I mean, they're not like overly pigmented. They seem like they're gonna be more like a buildable formula, but they feel pretty good. Then let's do a few of the shimmers. Yeah, they don't look super metallic-y or shiny or anything, but I mean, okay, these look a little, they look a little lackluster, but I feel like on the eyes, they may perform a little bit better. Because I mean, I do feel like Korean makeup is definitely not about pigmentation. Like, they're more of like a light wash of color, where over here we're like, bam, in your face pigmentation and opacity and stuff. So it's just, there's a difference in like makeup culture, I guess you could say. I'll first go into this little like matte camely tan color. So it's definitely not the most pigmented formula ever. It definitely is more on that like buildable side. Go into this kind of warm, like deep, kind of like a mauvish brown. Like, it's a really weird kind of shade. It may be more brown on the eyes, but let's go into that and put that in my outer V. This is looking really nice and smooth. Like, it doesn't look like a thick, like dry, powdery kind of formula. Like, it just looks really just thin and creamy. So now I'm gonna go into this like warm pinky mauve over here, and I think I'm gonna put that on my eyelid. It may not look too good, but we're gonna wing it. I may just use this as a base and go in with a shimmer on top later. So that's looking, that's just nice and just simple and pinky. I like it. So let's go into this more like champagne shimmer right here. And again, these don't swatch very pigmented or like metallic or anything, which is what I typically like, but there's a time and place for everything. So let's just put this right on top of that pink shade. We'll just let that act as a base. Oh, that's looking kind of dry. It's just not packing the wet punch, which is what I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wet my brush and go right on top. But if you don't wet it, it's just a pretty dry, weird kind of situation. Okay, so there's the eyeshadow. So yeah, it looks really nice and clean and just simple. Like, it's not over the top and dramatic and like super intense, but if you're looking for pigmentation, this palette won't be for you. But if you're looking for something that's just nice and subtle and just, I don't know, just easy to throw on and wear without it being like too over the top, then this is a pretty good palette. So moving on to eyeliner now. So I have this Macqueen Waterproof Pen Liner in the shade number 2 Deep Brown. It just looks like your typical like brush tip applicator. It has a really nice fine point. It does seem like you can make like a thick line if you wanted to, or just do like a very thin little line if you apply lighter pressure. So I'm gonna let this dry on my hand, and we'll come back and do the little rub test in just a second. I've been trying to perfect my wing game lately, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it on camera. I'll probably have to get a little bit like lower down here, but I'm gonna come back with a fantastic wing. Oh, I'm really disappointed myself. Probably shouldn't have hyped that up so much, because that's pretty bad. As far as how it went on, I love the applicator. Like, I love this kind of brush tip applicator because it's just so easy to control, and just, you can make whatever kind of line you want. And it was pretty easy to make the wing. I'm just not having a very good wing day, so that's on me. See, when you have hooded eyes, you have this little like hook kind of eyeliner. Like, you gotta work around that crap. I typically do get transfer onto my eyelid, like if I don't set it, or sometimes even if I do set it, like I do get like eyeliner transfer onto my eyelid because my crease likes to eat my eyelid. I'll let you guys know how it ends up wearing. I don't know if I'm gonna do a wear test in this video or if I'm just gonna do like a description box wear test. I'll let you know the ending right over here. But I mean, I feel like it's gonna stay put because it already seems like it's set, but it didn't set too fast. So I have high hopes. But moving on to mascara now. So this is the Peri Para Ink Black Cara. And I believe they have several of these because this is called the long lash one. So I think they have like different types of formula, but here's what the wand looks like. So it has a slight curve to it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show you what one layer looks like. So here's one layer versus nothing on this side, but it's a pretty black formula. And I mean, it is giving me quite a bit of length and separation and definition. So hopefully I can build up like the fullness because it's not giving me the most like full voluminous kind of effect yet, but we'll see with the second layer. So there's 2 layers. So I'm actually pretty impressed by that because I haven't heard the best things about Korean mascaras, but that's pretty impressive. And I will say it does dry pretty fast. Like on this side, I did 1 layer and then moved on to the other eye. So by the time I came back for the second layer, this was kind of dry, and it was pretty hard to like get that second coat on there really well and even. I mean, that gave me a lot of volume, a lot of thickness at the root. It gives me kind of that like doll eye effect. I really like that. That's really nice, and it's like super jet black. Okay, brows are done, so now let's move into some skincare products now. So the first thing I have is this Chica Chico Nude Fantasy Whitening Cream, which at first I thought was a tone-up cream, but this is just a moisturizer, like a cream moisturizer. So it's supposed to be good for all skin types. It's supposed to be good for dryness, hydration, uneven skin tone, and whitening. And I know that whitening is a pretty controversial term, and that's a term that is used in a lot of like Korean products, and it doesn't necessarily mean like to bleach your skin out or anything. Like, it just means brightening. Like, it's poor choice of words. They could definitely reword and, you know, rebrand some of those products, but it just means to like help with dark spots, hyperpigmentation. It's supposed to make your skin more even and whatnot, and just overall just more clear. So let's see what it feels like. Oh yeah, I can tell a little bit of this is gonna go a very, very long way. So hopefully this doesn't leave any kind of white cast where it is so white. Ooh, that's a little white. You are now watching Casper the Friendly Ghost. I'm just gonna sit here for a couple minutes and just kind of let it absorb a little bit, and hopefully it'll kind of tone itself down a little bit. So while I'm doing that, let's just go back to my eyeliner swatches on my hand. Let's do the little rub test. But here's what we're looking like right now. So I'm gonna rub really hard and no smudging. So I'm gonna keep going. I'll really work at it. It's faded a little bit, but it's on there pretty good. Back to the whitening cream, it did kind of tone itself down a little bit, and it is pretty much fully absorbed. But as you can see, it is pretty white still. Like, compared to my neck, like, it pretty much took away all my coloring. But I will say that it did even out my skin tone. It looks like I have a tinted moisturizer on, like a very, very, very white tinted moisturizer, but my skin looks pretty perfected. So if you're wearing this underneath makeup, it may not be that big of a deal. If you're a super deep skin tone, this may not be the best for you. But I mean, if you go in with your normal foundation color and stuff to cover it up, it may not be the worst thing ever. But I mean, my skin doesn't feel greasy. It doesn't look or shiny or oily or anything. It does feel really nice and moisturized. So I don't know, very excited on that right now, but I'll keep wearing it. And I mean, we'll see once we have face makeup and stuff on if it actually shows through. So moving on to a tone-up cream now. So this is the 9 Wishes Vanishing Balm. It has SPF 21, and it says it's an advanced tone-up enhancer. So I don't know if you can see that where it's a white tube, but a tone-up cream is a very Korean exclusive type product, I think. And I've been mystified by what they are. Like, are they a skincare product? Are they a cosmetic? Like, is it a moisturizer? Is it a primer? Can you use it in your sunscreen step? I think they're a cosmetic because on the Stylevana website, they call this a face primer. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my sunscreen, and then we'll apply the tone-up cream on top. I will say, as far as that whitening cream goes, my face does look pretty normal now. So I don't know. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna use this tone-up cream as my face primer. And now that I know that these are considered face primers, it's good to know. So I'm gonna go ahead and dot this on. But yeah, I've heard really good things about some tone-up creams actually helping your skin become like more clear. It's supposed to help with hyperpigmentation and dark spots and stuff, and just making your skin look more even overall. But I can't really tell if like the evenness is coming from the whitening cream or this alone. But I mean, once again, it has helped even my skin out. Like, it looks really nice, and just not only does it look more even, but it also looks more hydrated. It looks really nice and dewy and glassy. You know what? I'm digging it. I mean, it didn't necessarily fill in my pores. Did it? Wait, it kind of did. Oh my God, I really didn't expect that. Like, a lot of things say that they minimize your pores, but most of them don't. But that's actually minimizing my pores. I'm gonna get up close. Okay, so I'm turning my ISO down where you can see texture a little bit better. Like, my skin looks hydrated, but my pore area looks pretty blurred. That's crazy. So moving on to foundation now. So I have this Pony Effect Coverstay Cushion Foundation with SPF 50. Here's what the compact looks like. Very nice, very sleek. It does show fingerprints quite a bit. But let's see what it looks like on the inside. I don't know if the cushion's actually already in here because it has like, I think this is a cushion as well. So I don't know if this is just a refillable thing or, okay, yeah. So there's already a cushion in here. So this comes with like an extra refill. This sponge feels so soft. That's really, really nice. So let's get some on there. I'm just gonna pat this out. This will probably be a little bit too light, but once we get bronzer and everything on, it should be okay. Okay, so I said this was from the brand Pony Effect. I think that's just like a collaboration. The brand is actually called MEMEBOX. I will say the one thing I don't like about these cushions, even though they are really soft and they do apply product really well, it just feels like I can't be as fast with it. Like I have to like really press it in and be slow. And you guys know, I don't work slow. I work with speed, and that's why it usually doesn't look all that great. I would definitely consider this to be medium to full coverage. Like this is a pretty full coverage. I will say in some areas it does look a tad bit cakey, but I feel like that's just because of the cushion. Like I just feel like with my skin, I need like a wet sponge. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of fluff over this, fluff over it. That makes no sense. Okay, I think I like that better. Yeah, that just kind of pushed it into my skin better, especially where it's like it's kind of like a thicker cushion foundation, but it definitely does pack the punch. Like it packs the coverage. So here's what it looks like. It has a really pretty, I would say it's like a natural finish, but it's not too dewy, not too shiny, but it's also not matte. So yeah, that's really pretty. I'm hoping that stays on well. Okay, I'm back with some color now. So I look a little more alive. So let's move on to some blush now. So this is the Romand Better Than Cheek Blush, and I have the shade, what is the shade? I don't know what the shade is, but I'll link it below, but here's what it looks like. It's just a really pretty like matte, light peach shade. So hopefully this isn't too light. Ooh, it feels really nice and soft and buttery. That's really pretty, but it looks really light. I don't know if that's gonna work for me because where is it? That's my skin tone. But I will say something I see that's kind of like a trend with Korean blushes is that they're all pretty much matte. So they have like glowy, glassy skin, but then they have a matte blush. And I kind of want to get more into that because I feel like my face sometimes look maybe like too shimmery. So maybe like to offset all the shimmeriness, I need a matte blush. But that's a really nice smooth formula. It blends on really pretty. It just looks really milky and creamy on the skin. Like it looks so like hyper smooth. I just need a darker color than this, but honestly, I mean, once you build it up, I mean, it works. But I mean, I usually don't like matte blushes. This is kind of a game changer for me. Okay, so moving on to some setting powder now. And honestly, I wouldn't need to set the majority of my face, but I'm just gonna use it because I do have a setting powder. So this is the same brand that we used earlier that was from that whitening cream. This is the Chico matte powder. So yeah, it's just a translucent white powder, but I've heard really good things about Korean translucent powders. They're supposed to be really like pore minimizing and just blurring and not cakey or powdery or anything. Because like I said, Koreans do not like a super powdery look. Like they like that glassy, just set the areas where you need to kind of look. So this is actually called Matte Mint. It's kind of green. Is that gonna show up? Oh my God, it feels like air. Oh, yeah, there's what the color looks like. It's got like a slight mint tint to it, but I mean, it's not showing up on my hand. Let's go down here. Like I have a little bit of color on my arm right there. So yeah, it's not really showing up. So I'm thinking it's just gonna be one of those things where it just slightly color corrects. Like I've never used a color correcting powder, so I don't really know what the trend is with them, but I mean, that feels so silky smooth and very, very finely milled. That is blurring my life away. Okay, let's look at my skin up close because I have a feeling, yep, mind blown. My skin looks so porcelain. Shoot. This is like silk. For setting spray, I have this So Natural All Day Type Makeup Setting Fix. And I'm a setting spray snob. Like my standards for setting spray are so high. I mean, they're kind of high with everything, but I love setting sprays, okay? So here's what the bottle looks like. That's so pretty. And I don't really know, like it doesn't really say anywhere if it's supposed to give you like more of a luminous finish, if it's supposed to just set what you already have. Let's take a look real quick on the website. Okay, so it just says finish is natural. So I don't know. The best way is to find out. So let's go ahead and see, shake it up real well. Let's see what kind of mixture it has. Oh, holy hell. Let's go ahead and see what this does. Oh, it got direct all of a sudden. What happened? Oh, there we go. We're having malfunction junction. I'll go ahead and sit here for a few minutes and just let it dry, just so we can see what kind of finish it adds, like if it adds any kind of luminosity and sheen, or if it just maintains what I already had going on. Okay, so it did add a little bit of luminosity, especially to my highlighter, but I mean, I guess it did pretty much overall just kind of maintain a more natural finish. It really just enhanced my cheek products, but specifically my highlighter. But I mean, it does feel set. Like there are some areas that feel like it feels pretty locked in place. Like there are some setting spray that you apply and you don't really feel them anymore after they dry and stuff. But this one feels like, especially my T-zone, it feels pretty locked in place. Okay, so there's not really anything I tried that I just flat out didn't like. I mean, there are things I prefer over others, but I mean, this was a pretty successful video. Like I always come out of these Korean makeup videos or like Korean beauty videos in general, I'm just like, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed seeing some Korean makeup in action. I love doing these videos, but what matters most is that you guys actually enjoy them. So if you do enjoy them, if you want to see more like it, then give it a big old thumbs up. And everything I talked about today will be linked below in the description box. I'm gonna post a couple of videos for you guys to check out over here next. And hopefully you decide to stick around and join the community, make yourself at home. But if you're not already, then subscribe to my channel and turn that notification bell on, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.